The visibility has gone down, so it's going to be hard to see the trail. Hello, I'm Philippe. Thank you for tuning in. I'm heading to the mountains for the next 4 days, and I'm by myself, so the next 4 days I will be alone. I will be exploring new trails, looking for new campsites. On the way I will stop and film some ancient mines. And the last night I'm hoping to camp at it's called Cerro de los Siete Colores, which would translate roughly as the Hill of Seven Colors, and I'd like to film sunset and sunrise. All these trips start with proper planning, research and preparation. I research routes, possible campsites, and interesting photo and video locations. Then it's time to pack the camera and video gear, food, clothes, and finally inspect the truck itself. To do a truck inspection before every trip, I have made myself a checklist. Then I fill the water tank and prepare the camper. So, without any further delay, let's continue. So it's early March as I'm recording this video, which here is the end of summer. We've had actually quite a bit of rain this year, mostly in February, so the trail up to here was in fairly rough shape, worse shape for sure than the last time I drove it. I'm wondering the condition of the trail further ahead, so we'll see. That's part of the adventure. So it's 15 after 12 already, almost lunchtime. I'm out of the switchbacks, which you just saw, and this section is just a gentle climb through canyon, desert, until a pretty steep last climb, which will take me up to 3,000 meters, about 10,000 feet more or less. This flatter section is about 15 to 20 kilometers long, so I'll decide what I do on the way. I might be in clouds up there, so I don't know if I want to go that far and have lunch up there. Maybe I'll stop along the way, we'll see. Probably doesn't look as steep on the camera as it does in reality. And the difficulty is not so much the hill itself, it's just we're at very high altitude, so the engine has well, significantly less power. So I'm at the top of the hill, the highest point along the whole route, more or less. It's freezing cold here. I saw guanacos, there's some behind me. So yeah, that was a nasty one. There's a few rock steps there, and because of the altitude it's challenging. Yeah, the weather's not really nice, but let's look for a place to have lunch now. Alright, so I found flat ground. As I said, it's really cold and it's a bit windy, so I have to find some warm clothes. Ooh. Everything has shifted here. Alright, so now I'm warmer. Dressed up a little bit. The weather is not looking like it's getting any better. So that soup is really nice. It's nice to have something warm. A bit of red wine. So now I'm cooking the veggie burgers. They don't look very nice because I messed up a little bit, but they'll taste just as fine. Alright, so I'm gonna put this away, get organized a little bit, and then I'll make coffee. The 2-burner stove goes underneath here. To make espresso here, I have the mini presso, which is like a pump. And here we go. A nice delicious espresso miles from civilization. So my plan for this afternoon was to go explore further along the ridge. The weather is slowly closing in. So I'm ready to move. The visibility has gone down, so it's going to be hard to see the trail. I've got it on the GPS here. I'm setting up my phone as well. Okay, it's got it. I'm hoping to find a flat area where I can spend the night. Alright, so this is it. I'm stopped for today. This is Camp 1. Tomorrow I'll go back to where I was at lunch and then continue the main track down and look for another campsite in the next valley for tomorrow night. So I've been walking around camp and I noticed these tie downs. There's a number of them around. There's a few down there, some on the other side of the track. Then I noticed some white pieces of ceramic, broken white ceramic. Well, I saw one that has those lines inside, and I don't know how well you can see it, but they're actually insulators, like the porcelain insulators from way back when. I found another one that has those lines inside, and there used to be, I'm not sure when, but long ago there used to be a line of telegraph across here through the mountains, and these I'm sure were pylons for the telegraph line. On the other side there's some metal things, and this one looks like an end cap for maybe an insulator. There's more white ceramic inside, but on top it says Siemens 14 patent, so like the Siemens electric company. So it's interesting. There's still some of that stuff lying around. So look at that. I went for a hike. I walked along the trail further ahead. Kind of goes down, then comes right back up to the same height, altitude. So it's kind of V-shaped. I'm around 3,000 meters, so 10,000 feet. Anything that would be pretty much a walk in the park at sea level. Up here is a serious effort. So I guess the weather forecast is not too far off. It's supposed to clear overnight, so yeah, we'll see tomorrow. Morning is really my favorite part of the day. It's beautiful light, as you just saw. Preparing breakfast. Not sure which way I'm gonna start slicing this bread. Start with 2 slices. What do you think? I've got little fruit juice, butter, jam, yogurt, cereal. I'm gonna make myself a cappuccino. Okay, the water for the cappuccino is going. It's actually quite nice this morning. It doesn't feel as cold as last night. It was 10 degrees in the truck when I woke up, which means that outside it must have gone down to 4 degrees. As you can see this morning, the view is much nicer than yesterday. Yesterday I couldn't see anything, but it did clear up in the evening. Actually, when I went to bed, the sky was completely clear. Could see all the stars. the mind just takes another dimension when when you're alone like this for a few days. It's really something you have to experience to understand it. For me, these trips are a kind of a spiritual experience, I guess, at the same time. I really like about this truck having the option of doing everything inside, cooking, eating, sleeping, or doing a lot outside, like cooking, doing dishes and eating outside. I know people carry a ton of stuff in the bed and then they sleep on top in a rooftop tent, so they're not really sheltered from the elements, and they are forced to cook outside. Like, we have many options and we always sleep sheltered from wind, rain, and even cold to some degree. So now to go down on the other side, we have basically two options. Actually, there are more than two options, but two main options. One is to follow the provincial road, which is not in very good shape. It's not regularly maintained, and it has quite a number of switchbacks along the steep slope, so it's narrow, and because of the steepness of the slope, it's eroded in a lot of places, which makes it even more narrow. So that's one, and there's kind of an off-road track that basically cuts through the switchbacks more or less straight down, but that's not maintained at all except by the people who use it. I will start with the provincial road just so you can see what it's like, and then we'll see. It really looks like the provincial road, like straight ahead, hasn't been used in a long time. Like, all the tire marks indicate the off-road track. So I'll make a left turn here and go down the off-road track. I do have to inspect the truck for damage here. There's a crossing down there that was eroded, and I thought I could go through, but I touched both at the front and at the rear. Yep, definitely scraped here. Ooh, yep. I mean,
It's nothing too serious, but
And at the front.
yeah, I think it got banged somewhere here, hard to tell. Or maybe it's the A-arms.
Yeah, it's the place down there. Doesn't look like much, but it must have rained quite a bit because the trail is barely recognizable. I was wondering if I was on the wrong track. So I guess what I should do before I go back out is just smooth it with the shovel. So I reached the top of the trail I wanted to explore. It wasn't too bad, just the very end is pretty steep, and with the altitude but anyways, I made it here and I stopped, and I'm glad I did because I'm gonna show you on the other side. I'm not sure it's a trail, but I wouldn't go down there in any case. I don't know if it leads anywhere or not. It probably does, but it's so steep, like there's no way I'm gonna get down there. So basically I will have to turn around somehow and go back down where I came. I'm gonna try to show you the place, but it's very difficult. It's the trail down. I mean, the view from here is gorgeous. It is steep as well, but it's not as bad. And this might give you a better idea of where I am. This is how I'm stopped. So it's steep downs on both sides. And it's going to be a challenge to turn around, but no choice. So let's get to it. I don't feel too comfortable out here. Alright, so I'm back on flat ground. Man, turning around up there wasn't fun. At one point when I was sideways, I felt the truck balancing between the front right wheel and rear left wheel, which means that in that kind of situation you go from four-wheel drive to zero-wheel drive, because the differential will send power to the wheel that's spinning the fastest. So that's the one in the air, of course. I got out of it, but it was so steep I couldn't see even the way down. So I had to get out of the truck, see how it was positioned, and thinking, okay, yeah, that's it. I have to do it from here. But anyways, I didn't find, of course, a place to camp anywhere on the way. So I'm back here, a place that I've used before. So I worked 3 hours on the computer this afternoon pre-editing some videos. And then around 6 I went for a hike, and when I came back an hour later the truck was already in the shade because of the mountains just right behind. So anyways, I don't have dinner, I never do, but I'll have a piece of bread and cheese. I've been having my breakfast. Actually, I'm done. So I'm gonna put things away and then get going. I have to go through that section where I had to shovel yesterday. So we'll see if that was helpful. This is one of these old mines. There's a number all around the area. It's really hard to find any kind of history on these places out here. So let's take a look around. So it's actually very interesting from up here because you can see more of an overview of the inside and how it was built with those kind of bamboo sticks. So from here you can really see the detail on the roof, how it was built with these kind of bamboo sticks laying across, and then mud. That is quite a sophisticated room. There's fireplace, there's actually floor tiles, like very basic, but... Alright, well, it's an interesting place to visit. Other than some architectural details, there's not much going on. So let's move on. So here is the second mine. There's a beautiful view of the mountains over there in the distance. You can probably see it. So this one's quite extensive as well. But anyways, let's go explore, see if we can find some old machinery or something. Some kind of pipe here. So it's hard to tell if this pipe has always been here or if it's been moved. Interesting. One more bottle. Wow, so it looks like there is something here. A pipe. Again. And a mine shaft. Let's go see what's in there. Wow. It is a mine shaft. So I noticed in the distance a larger mine entrance than I've seen so far, somewhere down here. So this morning I'm planning to hike up there. And from up here actually it's nice because we can see all the mine buildings. So I'm getting much closer already, and it looks like this might be the actual main mine. So let's get closer and take a look. Oh, here is something interesting. I don't know if this was a well or if it's a mine shaft, but it looks like there's a pipe that's maybe pumping water or was pumping water. Interesting. So I'm getting closer. There's a small entrance there. The rocks are surely interesting on the right side. And then the big thing I could see from a distance is just up there. So let's keep moving. See if I can climb along the side so I can see down there. Oh, here is a piece of rail. No, there's not much of a view up there. It's actually better from below. Late afternoon, I'm set up at the Cerro Siete Colores, where I will spend the last night before driving home in the morning. But I make sure I get here in time to walk around and then later watch the sunset. It's at the very end of the day that the colors are the most striking. So this is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please click like and leave a comment. And if this is your first visit to the channel, please consider subscribing. And until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Bye.